Hello guys, today we're going to be doing a video on TinyTL's Wonderland using the GTX 1050 Ti. We're running a Ryzen 3700X with 32GB of RAM running at 3200 MHz. Alright, let's jump into the settings. We're going to be starting it off with 1080p on the very low preset. Let me just show you guys the settings. There we go. And we'll make our way up to the settings until it becomes unresponsive or unplayable. Alright, here we go.
Those jerks at the table can't hear me. It's just us down here. Hey,
Very low quality.
But I still just wanted to wish you luck on the whole quest.
These textures don't look the best at all.
Right?
Oh, okay. They take a second to load in, I think. This looks fine once it actually settles in. Ooh, even at 1080p we can't hit 60. Very low settings. Huh. I was expecting at least 70-80 FPS. That's very low, but 30, mid-30s to the low 60s, I guess. Yeah, this does feel very stuttery, I gotta say. Well, the aiming of it feels stuttery.
Turn back now and you might survive.
Okay. Ooh. Seems like we're averaging out in the mid 40s to low 40s. Is what it seems to be averaging itself out. Now I'm wondering how it's gonna look at 900p, because normally 900p looks pretty similar to 1080p, and you get a pretty big performance boost. So I think 900p is the place to be for this game, because very low doesn't look the best. It's looking kind of rough a little bit. It's not too bad, but still, I think at least the low settings look pretty decent. Very low is pushing it a little too far. Personally, it's not for me. Let's just hit this barrel, make it explode. Wasn't that big of an impact. Honestly, it's not that bad. It's like, at the start it was pretty rough. We were in the mid 30s, but once you get to the high 40s, the low 50s, most of the stuttering is gone from the mouse input. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and increase it to medium settings. Oh, sorry, low settings. And let me show you guys the settings right now. Okay, there we go.
Every single one of these.
Okay. I'm getting some mouse input delays, some input lag. And the game's feeling stuttery again. Even though in the frame time it's not really saying that it's stuttering. So I guess it isn't. The animations aren't lagging or anything, but the overall feel of the game just feels weird and delayed. Here we go. Now we can see a bigger impact. 35 FPS, 34 FPS. So yeah, once you see a bunch of enemies spawn in and start shooting at you and particles start flying everywhere, that's when you see the true performance impact. Now we're sitting in the mid 30s, so we lost 10 FPS from just an empty field to filled with enemies shooting, which is yeah. And then once you clear them out, that's when you get your FPS back. Go back to the mid 40s again. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and push it up even higher to medium. I think. Like honestly, I think medium is our limit. If you want to get a 30 FPS experience, like on the consoles, on the PS4 or Xbox One, then you can push up to higher 1080p. But I'm gonna say you gotta need a controller. There's no way a mouse is gonna be enough for this. The game feels pretty full, I gotta say. It doesn't feel too good. I wouldn't really want to play like this, to be honest. This stops being unplayable at this point, I feel like. I think medium is our limit. 1080p. Obviously we get a range of the low 30s to the higher 30s, but even then, still not great. So I'm gonna just do just gonna push up to high just because it'd be funny. There's no way we're gonna even be able to play like this at all. But let's just see how it looks and how it performs. The game does look really nice though, but mid 20s, low 20s, so low 20s to mid 20s. That's awful. Let me just make it even worse. 21, 20. Yeah. Now I do have NIS enabled on this system, so we will get some extra sharpening and some upscaling up to 1080p. Wow, we're still getting the high 40s at very low 900p. Now, 900p with NIS, very low, looks better than 1080p, very low. For whatever reason, this looks very nice to me right now. Actually liking how this game looks. I think it's the sharpening. The extra sharpening that you get with NIS is definitely helping out the look. And the art style of this game definitely does benefit from the extra sharpening. We're all pretty close to 60 for the most part. You obviously will fall in the more intensive scene into the mid 40s and the mid 50s, but that's not that bad. I mean, can't really be complaining about that. I didn't really feel any stuttering when I was in the mid 40s. I don't know about the mid 40s, but the high 40s and the mid 50s, like just then, I'm not really feeling any of the lag or any of the stuttering. Wow, that was quite a big impact. Maybe it was just catching up, I don't know. Nah, it's very inconsistent. The frame rate is really inconsistent right now. It goes from 40 to 60, back to 40 when I see enemies again. And the graphics quality isn't that much better. I mean, it's slightly improved, obviously. I can definitely tell the improvements, but I didn't have a problem with playing it very low. I thought that still looked pretty decent. I will test out 720p as well. I might as well test it out, just to see if we can have a consistent 60 the whole time and have no dips into the 50s or 40s. Even though I think 720 is pushing it, the game isn't gonna look too good at 720p. Also, I made a comment about the game looking like a PS3 game, but I don't think PS3 games run at 900p. I think 720 was what was like the maximum that would run out, and I highly doubt that Borderlands 2 actually ran at 720p the whole time. But I could be wrong. So I guess technically this looks better than the PS3 game. Looking at the resolution. Okay, we seem to be getting mid 40s to mid 50s. I don't think we've hit the 60 FPS mark yet. But again, it's so inconsistent, it dips so often. I'm gonna die. Going from low to medium, I'm not seeing that big of an improvement in the visual quality, to be honest. I'm seeing a pretty big decrease on our FPS though. We're hanging around in the mid 40s to low to high 30s. But it's becoming very stuttery again, like it was with 1080p. Oh, that's so laggy. That felt like 20 FPS to me. Actually went down. Wow.
Our battle is not yet over.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't go past low with this graphics card. It just doesn't feel good when you're in the low 40s mark. That's when the game starts feeling really bad. Oof. Yeah. Actually died again. Wow. No, quickly reload. Yes, saved. Now, 1080p we were in the 20s, like the low 20s, but 900p we gained about a good average of like 5 to 8 FPS.
Well, that's the measure of you, isn't it?
You're getting 30 FPS, but if you want to play at 30 FPS, I would just play at 1080p medium settings, and you'll get a 30 FPS experience that looks much better than this, and this feels pretty bad too, actually. I can't. The mid 30s, just, I don't know if you guys can actually see in the video, but aiming is just not good. 720p, again, this art style makes it that you can play the game at low resolutions and it still looks pretty decent. This actually looks like a PS3 game now.
Oh, good for you.
But it's not that bad still. I don't have a problem with this at all. I think this still looks pretty good. I'm playing on a 27-inch screen as well, so if you got a 21-inch screen or even smaller, like on a laptop or something. But we're getting at least, at the minimum, 60 FPS with this, which is crazy good. Average is sitting around in the 70s. And we finally, like you see, like as soon as we get into low, we lose so much performance. We're now sitting in the mid-60s from the mid-70s, so we lost quite a good chunk. But I can definitely tell that from very low to low, we get some anti-aliasing going, because the edges aren't so sharp and so jaggy anymore like they were before. And obviously that does help with how the game looks, and the game does look better. But for a 10 FPS impact, I don't know if that's worth it for me. I feel like I would just stick. I would play this game at 900p very low. I think that's probably the sweet spot of quality and performance. It still looks really good, really sharp. And you still get pretty decent performance. You do fall into the high 40s and the mid 50s occasionally, but that's alright. That's right with it. It's up to the person, I guess. It's all person. And again, medium to low is the least amount of is the smallest jump in quality that I've seen. And now we're sitting in the low 50s to mid 50s. Wow, that's actually a really big impact, performance impact. Yeah, I guess this is not at all the way you want to play this. I'm out of ammo. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and show the in-game benchmark results and then we'll end the video. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you found it useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and a subscription will be highly appreciated. See you next time.